When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk, people.
Good night, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of the Make We Talk program. Our topic tonight, Haiti, the way going forward. This evening we have with us Professor Prosper. Professor, introduce yourself to us, please.
Yes, sure. Good evening, everyone. Mamyrah Prosper. I am born and raised in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, currently living in California in the United States. And I'm a professor in the Department of Global and International Studies at University of California, Irvine, research focusing on social movements in Haiti, current social movements in Haiti, folks who had been involved in overthrowing the dictatorship of the Duvalier family in the 80s and whose legacies continue, and new organizations today in Haiti who have a very different perspective for what development should look like in the country. And I hope that we'll be able to talk about how what we're seeing in Haiti is in fact a snapshot of a moment in a struggle between two different visions for what Haiti should be and look like. And so I hope, you'll give me the room, Mr. Jeffrey, to explain what I mean about all that. So I'll let you begin.
Yes, we are waiting Mr. Herb Nelson Jr.
Yes.
to join us back because we had some technical difficulties earlier on. Based on what is going on in Haiti, the United Nations has, sanctioned or give the go-ahead for Kenyan troops, along with Jamaica, Antigua and Barbuda and Barbados, go and give a helping hand into Haiti. A lot of Haitian Americans, a lot of Haitian who lives in America, is saying that they don't believe that it should be a military force or a police force should go into Haiti and assist in the humanitarian crisis that's going on in Haiti with gangs and so forth. Your views on that, Professor?
Yeah, so just to be clear, Haitian Americans, at least the ones who are vocal and visible about their opposition to the UN sending troops led by anybody into Haiti, are folks who are directly in touch with Haitians on the ground. So maybe, right, the advantage is that we speak English and we can say things louder and more directly, but we echo what people on the ground are saying. Haitians, of course, want an end to massacres, kidnappings, etc. But also they don't necessarily want it the way that the international community wants to have it happen.
Yes.
I want to begin by saying the very call that was put out for the UN to intervene in Haitian affairs with a multinational military force was made by someone who is not a rightful leader of the Haitian people. This is the beginning of a major problem, that someone could come on behalf of the Haitian people, speak to the international community, and demand that the UN send military troops into the country, right? So we are not finding that folks are questioning even the fact that Ariel Henry is both a prime minister and acting president and there is no parliament in function in Haiti since January 2020.
Mhm.
And we think that it is correct to be able to engage one singular person and his cabinet of ministers to represent 12 million people, right? This is the beginning of a major problem and is actually the explanation for the crisis that we find Haiti in right now. And so I want to begin there by really highlighting the fact that the person who came and who continues to negotiate with CARICOM to represent the Haitian people and to stop on the ground alternatives, alliances that are being made for Haitians to take control over the state apparatus. And this singular person, who represents actually a puppet of the international community, prevents these kinds of solutions from emerging and from continuing. The
Mhm.
Haitian people on the ground have their own solutions as well, right? But we're not hearing their voices amplified enough because we're hearing the voice of this singular person, again, who was chosen by the United States, by the same UN apparatus to run the country
Yes.
into a direction that is not reflective of what the majority of Haitian people want. So I want to press that upon your listeners about who this character is, and he represents the erosion of democracy in the country of Haiti under the watch of the UN.
Yes.
This whole we're going to send troops to Haiti and everyone thinks this is new. There have been foreign military troops on the soil of Haiti since 2004. It's going on 20 years that the UN has been intervening directly in the political, cultural, social, economic affairs of Haiti.
Mhm.
Right? So this is a call for renewed occupation because Haiti, as far as the progressives and how they understand it, as far as the people have lived the UN in Haiti, it has been an occupation. And
Yes.
under this occupation, we have seen the rise of these gangs, right? And I can go on, right, and explain more about the ways in which since 2004, the UN, via whether we're talking about, right, the different organizations that deal with managing social life, or we're talking about military bodies who are controlling and protecting infrastructure, to others, right, who are single-handedly controlling the state
Yes.
above the Haitian people, right? We have an international hand. We have a international council. They are called the core group that has that has the United States, France, Canada, the Organization of American States, the UN, Spain, and Germany since 2004. From the belly of the US Embassy in Haiti, the largest one in the Americas, by the way, they are conducting affairs of the state. They can call the prime minister or the president into the US embassy to discuss national affairs. They can call results of our national election before our electoral body that's supposed to control elections makes their announcement.
So, Professor, what you're saying to me, based on before we do that, Mr. Nelson, we're not seeing you or hearing you. I think there is something wrong with your system. I don't know what on earth is going on here this evening. Mr. Nelson, we're not seeing or hearing Herb Nelson. He's going to come on with us. But based on what you're saying to us now, Professor, is it that you're saying that every election happened in Haiti since the United States get involved into Haiti? They decide the Haitian election, not the
Well,
Haitian people?
Well, first they fund it, right? Once you start having an international group of people fund your national elections, that's already a problem, right?
Yes.
I lived in the United States when there was, suspicion that the Russians had meddled in the elections. There was a meltdown, right? The idea that any foreign body could come and intervene in your people's decision about what should happen within their borders, right?
Mhm.
So in 2004, when the UN invade Haiti, right, they suspend the Haitian constitution, right? They name a Haitian American, right, but a UN connected person as the new prime minister of Haiti. They take over the country, right? And they say Parliament no longer is. And then they organized the next set of elections. And in 2010, even after the earthquake, when we know how devastating that was for the Haitian people, particularly in the capital in the southeast, and some folks were calling for, I would say, a halt, right? Let's wait. Let's give people, let them catch a beat before we start elections, right? But here they go. They organize elections, right? Because we must stay faithful to the electoral calendar. And what we see actually is that they pushed through a candidate, in this case, Michel Joseph Martelly, who was not even really in the top three who typically make it to the second round of elections, right? And we see that the international community through the US Embassy come out, and even before the local electoral council says, well, Michel Martelly has won. This is our
Yeah.
guy, right? So the Haitian people see this very much as a clear.
We have lost your audio. We have lost your audio. Professor, I've lost your audio. I'm not hearing you. Professor, we're speaking to Professor about the issues that's going on in Haiti. We have lost her
And
audio. I don't know what's going on. We have lost her audio.
let's see.
Oh, go ahead. Just bear with us, please. We're
Okay.
speaking. Go ahead now, Professor.
Does that work better?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what happened. Yes. So this is a crucial moment because in Haiti by 2011, you have a president who already does not reflect the choice of the people on the ground. And the leading candidate at the time, essentially, or the other candidates who were in the lead, right, were
Yeah.
pushed aside to make room for this candidate that already had intimate relations with the Clintons. One of his first acts, and we're talking about a country that is in need of reconstruction, right, that has received billions of dollars of aid, and we think this is great, right? We're going to develop the country. We're going to use this as an opportunity to rebuild, but instead, some of that money goes in to subsidize the
Mhm.
construction of the largest industrial park in the Caribbean region, which is a free trade zone, which means the largest free trade zone in the region, to produce
Mhm.
clothing that the Haitian workers never wear. And if they do, it's because it's come back to the country as secondhand clothing, right? But to export to be sold in Target, right? And stores like Gap, H&M, Zara. And we're talking about $6 billion worth of export going out of Haiti, right? These
Yeah.
are the numbers that we're talking about. They're not small. And in this money that's leaving Haiti, this capital that's leaving Haiti, none of them are going towards taxes because there's a free trade zone law that was voted in 2002 that
Yeah.
allows, right, these companies, if they're able to find ways to have the state subsidize these free trade zones, can up to 10 to 15 years not pay taxes to the state.
Mhm.
So how are we talking about the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, right? We keep hearing that. And $6 billion are leaving this place. And we're talking about the Haitian people who are working in the factories being the lowest paid workers in the entire Americas, right?
Yeah.
$5 a day. And this is something that they've been able to achieve because they keep struggling, they keep fighting for, right, a little increase in their minimum wages. So $6 billion, and we're just talking about industrial parks. We're not yet even talking about other ways in which, right, the Haitian people continually line the pockets of multinational others who don't pay taxes in the country,
Mhm.
right? So then where is the state supposed to find the money to be able to do what we think the state should do, which is to develop for the benefit of the people?
Yeah.
And what happens also when that state is controlled by people who do not have the best interest of Haiti? And
So.
this is this 2010, 2011 moment. And since then, there has been a struggle between the people on the ground watching the country be given out, right? Land is being taken by folks, international folks, being taken from folks who've had control over that land sometimes for, since the revolution we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Not compensating them from the land for the land, and then establishing, right, these big cement structures on the most productive land in the country that could make food. But instead, Haiti imports $1 billion worth of food. So this is the struggle, right? This is the struggle that's in the background of this gang violence that is there to confuse us and to obscure the fact that there has been this struggle over the last 10 years, mostly, between the people of Haiti and this state that is being controlled and propped up by international puppets. And the gangs come in when the struggles on the ground have become so intense and finally paralyze and block the country, and enters this new character of the gangs, right? They were always kind of there, right? We know there's a drug trade, there's also all kinds of illegal activities, sure. But there is a kind of degree of power that they gained in 2018 that they didn't have before. And when you look at this 2018 moment, it's a direct response to this 10, more than, at this point it's 10 years, right? At that point we're talking about 10 years, about, right, of folks watching this party do many things, among embezzle money, right, not build anything at all, keep giving their cronies, their friends, right, ports. Well, we can talk about this port that's another free trade zone that this particular party subsidized in 2013. It is one of 3 ports in the Americas, right? We're thinking Haiti, but it has one of 3 ports. The other one's in Colombia, and the third one is in the United States, in Fort Lauderdale, where the Panamax boat, right, that's able to traverse the Panama Canal to go into Asia, right, can make a stop. This is also the port that has been highlighted as the one where most of the illegal guns are coming from in Haiti. And this is an example of the kind of, gift that this particular state made to certain of their friends. And so if we don't see that this is in the background of the struggle leading to 2018, when folks are saying, you guys stole all the money, and we come back to that, particularly the money that Venezuela gave us, and you guys all stole the money, and all we see is, right, unfinished buildings, projects that started that didn't end, but we hear it cost $16 million. Roads that were never built, but that were supposed to have cost $16 million. Hospitals that were supposed to be built that never got built. And by 2018, the people got to a point where they were fed up and the country shut down.
So let me ask you something, Professor. I'm going to let Herb Nelson Jr. come in. All of what you're saying to us now, is it that whenever there's a crisis in Haiti and the Americans go into Haiti, it creates more disaster than anything else?
Yeah, they're not coming to defend the Haitian people. They come to defend their the multi, national interests of those who control, also have an influence on U.S. government, right? When the UN came in 2004, they went and they secured the industrial park that's at the border of Haiti and Dominican Republic. That's where they went. They secured the airport. They secured the ports, right? They went into certain neighborhoods where they had, where supporters of the president who was deposed, right, were said to be. They went after them, but they didn't go after the other, right, paramilitaries who had already a whole bunch of cases against them for crimes against the Haitian people, massacres they had committed in the 90s. These guys stayed where they were, fully armed. Right, so we can see that there's a way that, of course, they will come and they will eliminate some obstacles, right? They will probably take out some of the gangs. But the ultimate reason that the gangs exist is not going to be undone, which is to prevent the Haitian people from asking questions of their state, from asking questions of the international community that controls their state, and that pushes candidates that nobody ever chose, right? Leaders that nobody wants. And we see even the president who was assassinated. And I know, Caribbean people, we don't want to speak ill of the dead, But I will have to say, right, this president who was assassinated is one for an entire year. The people protested his presidency. And if you remember that moment when there was the should he be resigning, should he not be resigning, what does the Constitution say, etc., it's because there had been a whole year after his election, fraudulent election, where the people had already had they had it with his party. They said, we don't want this candidate. We don't even know this guy. He wasn't even in politics. He's a puppet of this party and he's here to continue more of the same, and we don't want it. They shut down the country. They had to reorganize elections. And still, this guy was able to win. And some of the votes that led to his presidency are votes cast by, and they ended up being called zombie votes. They had ballots from dead people, right? That they counted to justify, and this is just one example of the kind of fraud that they committed. They also use the gangs. If you guys are paying attention, the report that just came out by
Yeah.
the UN about Michel Joseph Martelly as having not only created some gangs, bolstered other gangs, and some of it not only to be able to force people in certain neighborhoods to go vote a certain way, but also to fight against people organizing in slums, of course, against the state and the state squandering their money, right? That's the background to the gang violence that if we miss it, and we miss the way that for 20 years the United Nations has been there, politically, militarily already, and it has still led to this disaster, then how could the Haitian people turn to this same body of people, right, institutions and countries to resolve their issue? Because we see that, and I'm going to say we see that this
Mhm.
international community created the conditions right now for more occupation.
Mm. Mr. Nelson, Herb Nelson Jr.
Yes, good evening to your listeners, and sorry about all the issues we've been having with
Yeah.
transmission. Um, and welcome to the professor as well. I've admired their work and our presentation that I've viewed in the past, and I have to kind of side with her in this instance. Canada, as it were, they did listen to their Haitian Canadian population, and they laid sanctions out against three members of the Haitian economic elite, three businessmen, Mark Accra, a
Mhm.
banker, Carl Braun, and Jean-Marie Vorb. Um, these people own property in Florida, and they have various company operations that they're running. The US sees nothing wrong with these individuals, but the Canadians suspect that these individuals are behind fueling the violence in and instability in Haiti, and they are corrupting every level of the Haitian government, and they're supported by criminal acts and the legal activities of the armed gangs that terrorize the population, threaten peace and security in Haiti. And my thing is, if and the fact that I came out of the intelligence community, these people are well known to the intelligence community. But I know a while back they had adopted a policy of being in bed with gangsters and various others who could help them to manipulate countries via their economies,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right? They could squeeze the economies of certain countries. And for a very long time, people have been saying that Haiti, the original um, uh, black nation that were the first amongst the Caribbean nations to kick out the white colonial government of France. And the embarrassment led to the US's occupation and the US moving the gold that was in the banks in Haiti turn it over to the French. And Haiti has been suffering for a very long time, all the way to the period where we see Aristide steps in. He wins the first democratically elected government, and then he gets overthrown.
Hmm.
The fact of the matter is, these elites have never been satisfied with a person like Aristide coming along and trying to establish good governance, right? Trying to run the masses, as it were. So, one of the things that show up in Jamaica and the Bahamas and
Antigua and Barbuda. We,
uh, whatever the island sending 50 people.
Hmm.
Mr. Nelson, you're going in and out. I don't know what's going on with your system.
Yeah.
But we're speaking about the way going forward with Haiti. We have Professor and Herb Nelson Jr. here with us. But Mr. Nelson, are you hearing us, Mr. Nelson? I don't know what's going on. We have lost Mr. Nelson. He's frozen. Professor, do you know, or can you elaborate more on the guns that is coming into Haiti? Because the guns are coming into Haiti and it's trickling into Jamaica and other parts of the Caribbean. So if they can stop illegal migrants from entering the United States, how is it they can stop illegal guns coming out of the United States into Haiti?
I think your question already has the answer, right? That is, it is deliberate. It's deliberate to allow the guns to flow from the United States into the Caribbean, into Latin America.
Mhm.
There are several different ways that these guns, illegal guns, get used. I mean, we could highlight the example of Colombia, right? That's been dealing with paramilitary violence against people
Mhm.
for decades now. And of course, Haiti being made into a chaotic space also allows the trafficking of humans, but the trafficking of drugs as well, going from South America into the United States. And so I think maybe I assume, right, that your listenership have a certain amount of critical positioning vis-a-vis the US, and understand that the US, does not have the best interests of Caribbean nations. It has the best interest of itself. And so gun manufacturers make billions of dollars, right? When these guns are flooding Jamaica or flooding Haiti, coming in through the Dominican Republic in and out. There are billions to be made from this trafficking. So I don't think that the U.S., even the Coast Guards, are looking to prevent this trade from taking place, this illegal trade of guns from taking place.
Can you,
Technical difficulties.
sorry, Prof. I just got a call from Wilfred Radigan. I do apologize about
Don't
that.
worry, I do shows and
Mhm.
panels with people in Haiti without stable internet, and this is always what we say. These are the conditions,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have these issues, but we're gonna get the work done.
Mr. Nelson, are you there with us?
Yeah, can you hear
I can
me?
hear
Yeah.
you, but you're frozen. Go ahead. Oh, Lord. He's gone now. Okay. We're talking about the guns, the flow of guns from Florida into Haiti, then from Haiti to Jamaica. Jamaica has 100 and something ports around the island, entries around the island. And I remember at one point I had I remember his name is Gene something another from Haiti.
Mm,
He was the advisor to one of the Haitian president
mm.
on my program, and he said to me he could hop on a boat and land in Jamaica in Port Royal in less than a couple minutes or maybe an hour or so drink a
Yeah.
restaurant bait and drink a restaurant beer and go back into Haiti. Professor, with all this is going on into Haiti, everything that is going on in Haiti, and it is you know, I said on this program many times that Jamaica is knocking behind Haiti's back door because it is reported today that there's 45 bomb threat within 24 hours that Jamaica had.
Mm.
Within 24 hours, it's 45 bomb threat. A container with pipe bombs was found in Jamaica. I'm saying all of this to say this to you. If CARICOM do not stand firm behind Haiti, where do you, as a Haitian national, where do you see Haiti going?
Well, I mean, I think CARICOM has been standing on the wrong side of Haiti for a very long time. CARICOM pushed for the UN resolution this time and as well in 2004. I think that the solutions that CARICOM offers is in the image of what the U.S. is pushing for and policies that the U.S. favors. You know, in ways that CARICOM could not have ever supported Venezuela's Petro-Caribe agreement and program, which actually benefited a place like Haiti tremendous. And by the way, also Jamaica, who was
Yes.
able to forfeit $1.8 billion of debt when your Prime Minister Holiness decided to not recognize Maduro's government, right?
And,
CARICOM
and,
works.
and, and, and I think that that's a bad thing that he did. Anyway,
Absolutely. And in the case of Haiti, to go back to that 2018 moment, this is at a moment, right, when finally the people have gone to, right, there, what do you say? You're just drowning completely. 2018, Haiti finds itself in a dire energy crisis because with our president, the deceased one that nobody chose, right, deciding to vote against the recognition of Maduro and therefore helping to crash the Petro-Caribe agreement, Haiti goes from receiving almost for free, right, barrels and barrels of oil to now having to face importing um, petroleum products that also run, right, our capacity to give ourselves electricity from the, you know, regular mainstream market and can't hang. The 2018 moment when everything starts shutting down, like it's no longer, oh, people are protesting here in this region about this industrial park, or people are protesting this touristic, compound that they're trying to put on this little island, right? It no longer became these sort of pockets of resistance in different parts of the country. All of that culminated into this moment, 2018, when now the president is saying we are going to reduce subsidies on the price of the gallon of gas, which means you're now going to have to pay more for gas. So public transportation, which is really private transportation, right? You don't have the state controlling that or subsidizing that. People have to put gas in their own cars to run, the tops, the transportation that people take to go to work, right? The price of food goes up. So the price of gas going up is linked to the price of food going up, the price of transportation going up, and there goes, right? And people's wages are not getting better. So when this president, who's now deceased, made this declaration because the IMF had told him so, because now Haiti has to face the market to buy petrol and no longer has Petrocaribe from Venezuela, right? You come to a point where the people are like, that's it, we're done. Y'all stole the money. You didn't build shit. Excuse me to curse on your show, right? You didn't
go ahead.
build nothing. You stole the money. And then now the one little thing we had left, which was the subsidies on the gas to bring the gas price lower so we can purchase it to put in our cars, right? To be able to get to school, get to work, right? To transport the food throughout the country.
Yeah.
And folks were like, that's it, we're done. We're done with y'all. And they shut the country down, right? So this is an important type of agreement that CARICOM should have gotten behind, should have pushed, should have bolstered. but instead they sided, all the countries who are in the lead of CARICOM sided with the United States against Venezuela. And instead of us again thinking through the region together, everybody was thinking about their individual, right,
Mm-hmm.
country, and making deals with the US and demonstrating that they're a good pet, right? They're good pets. They
Yes.
can follow the lead of the United States, right? Even if it's not in the interest of their people.
Professor, sorry to interrupt you. I have a little bit of breaking news that is coming into us.
Hmm.
This is Make We Talk breaking news. Head of the Jamaica Constable Force Crime Portfolio Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitzbailey says there has been as many as 71 bomb threats in the past 24 hours in Jamaica. Head of the Jamaica Constable Force Crime Portfolio Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitzbailey is saying to our news center tonight that there have been 71 bomb threats across Jamaica in the last 24 hours. Now tell me something. What on earth is going on here? I wish I could get back Herb Nelson Jr. to come back and air with us here. That there has been 71 bomb threat rather. 71 bomb threat in Jamaica, across Jamaica in the last 24 hours. That's some serious things, Professor.
Yes, well, I mean, I can't speak to that. I can't say that there are clear channels between Haiti and Jamaica and in respect to the trade and the trafficking of bombs. I
Yes.
mean, I will say that the armed groups in Haiti, to my knowledge, so far have not ever used bombs, right? And the massacres that they commit. Yes.
And they're saying here also that I'm cutting your train of thoughts, Professor. But as the news come in and I'm here, I have to give it out. One person arrested as investigation into the bomb threat continues. Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitzbailey saying that one person have been arrested in connection to the bomb threat across the island in the last 24 hours. And within the last 24 hours, 71 bomb threats have been issued across the length and breadth of Jamaica by unknown people. But one person has been arrested. This is getting serious. I'm going to try it.
But is and are this is verified and the bomb threats are aiming at what exactly?
What they're saying that the majority of the bomb threats are in schools.
Right, but I'm also reading, and I don't know if this is if you will push against this information
Go ahead.
that the bomb threats are hoaxes. It's not real.
Yes, they're hoax. They said they're hoax, but I don't know what's going on. Eric, if you're hearing me, you gotta go back out and come back in. I don't know what's going on with your system. But based on what they said they're hoax, Professor. But a lot of manpower has been into this,
Right.
and is it that somebody's trying to detract the security forces from something that's gonna go on to this stupid bomb threat?
I don't know. I
What is that?
mean,
Anyway, Professor, continue with your what we were talking about with Haiti.
yes, I mean, so just to say, for people in Haiti, there are multiple organizations that have come together, political parties at varying instances, and have proposed their own solution to Haiti's problems, if you will. And one of the first things they identify is precisely that the United States has to support a Haitian solution, meaning stop meddling in the affairs of the country, and instead to support what Haitian people want, right? And we know that that goes contrary to the US interests, in fact. But there are already these folks, and Perhaps the problem is that these folks are operating in a language that is different than your listeners and viewers or the public of the United States. But the State Department is aware of these groups, right? The State Department is trying to always, the U.S. State Department, that is, enter into these conversations and co-opt these conversations that folks are trying to do on the ground, that are bringing, right, some folks from the opposition together with different factions of even this party in power, and even the party of Aristide, who was deposed, right? When these sorts of moments are happening and people are coming together and saying, let's think nationally, let's think about what we want to do, let's figure out how to get out of this moment of crisis, it's undermined again by the interference of the members of this core group. The core group, I will remind you, right, has the US, the UN, Canada,
Yes.
France. And I wanted to say earlier to Herb about Canada and why Canada can put the sanctions out, because Canada and the US are working intimately together, if not over every geopolitical matter on in the world, but certainly Haiti and Canada.
We have lost your audio again, Professor. I don't know what's going on tonight, but we have Leo. Go ahead again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. So there are these solutions on the ground where folks are trying to come together. They're proposing a way out of the crisis, and they have clear roles that they want the international to play. And one of them is to support a Haitian solution, right? And to allow Haitians to organize their own elections and to push their own leaders, whether or not the West, the United States, agrees, right? These are our affairs. If the Haitian people make their selection democratically, then that's what we need to back up, right? But instead, as Herb was saying, you see continually that the US undermines the choices of the Haitian people, that being really on two occasions, Jean-Bertrand Aristide, right? He's not the only favored candidate. The candidate, for example, who was running against the assassinated president, who was actually in the lead, right, was pushed back because he was a progressive and was not going to push the international community's agenda the same way.
Yeah.
And instead of him going into the second round, he was pushed back, and the assassinated president instead was pushed through, right? And I was saying, Herb, about Canada being able to put sanctions. Some of it has to do with the fact that if you put sanctions on Haitian bourgeois or oligarchs, industrial, merchant, capitalists, whatever you want to call them, they don't trade in Canadian dollars. They trade in US dollars, right? So the sanctions, if anything, are symbolic, certainly. But there's a reason why they have Canada doing it, whereas the US has the same information and takes on a different position. Because Canada and the US are working together, at least in the case of Haiti. They sit together on a council, right? They manage different pieces of Haiti together since 2004. So that's just their own little, strategy to symbolically denounce while they continue to allow these folks, the VOB, the ACRA, the Bidjo, etc., to run the Haitian economy,
Yes.
whatever is left of it.
So Herb, welcome back. When you
Thank
were
you.
born, I don't know if you're aware, because I'll let you ask Professor some questions also. But when you're off air, I got into the newsroom that one person has been arrested pertaining to the bomb threat across Jamaica. And the police is saying that it's 71 bomb threat across the length and breadth of Jamaica in the last 24 hours. As a security consultant, a security analyst, what do you take with this, Mr. Nelson? Don't you think that we're not going to drift away from Haiti? But I just want to ask this question. What do you
Well,
think of
the bottom line is, I heard from a member of the RCMP tonight, and that person told me point blank that the explosives and that they found and the guns were all shipped from Haiti. So, it's something else that we're discussing Haiti tonight. And the fact that somebody is creating mischief in Jamaica. Somebody has been shipping the murderers of the president from Moise. They shipped them to Jamaica. They finally caught up to Joseph, and correct me, Professor, if I'm wrong, Joseph Badio, the former justice minister
Felix.
that they were searching for. And he's been talking. So we're anxious to find out what it is he's been saying. If you know, they're going around and they're rounding up all the low hanging fruit that were involved with the execution of the president. But the actual plotters, they have not discussed or outlined the plot, the plotters, and the plan that was executed. They keep giving you different names, but even though the FBI is on the case, nobody has been showing us the big picture, the timeline, and the overall analysis of what has occurred.
Well, I'll tell you, Herb, they've said that the current de facto, we call him de facto prime minister and acting president Oyelari is also a suspect in the
Involved.
murder of
Yeah.
the president, who named him as prime minister a few days before the assassination. And of course, Oyelari it was never ratified because there's no parliament in Haiti since 2020. So essentially was, he would have been named and he would have become prime minister just because the president decided. There's no check and balance, but, is actually involved in the assassination. And even, you bring up Aristide, and he has a private university in Haiti, and he gave a speech at some point after the assassination, and he said this expression in Creole that says, "La caille mange pa kaila." So it's an inside job. Of course, there are all these players involved, right? In terms of where the guns came from and the foreign mercenaries, but also that he was seemingly tortured, right? And there are missing documents. And folks see it very much as an infighting, because to understand clearly, the party, the Haitian party of bald heads, right, is what it would translate to. Is not a party that had was full-fledged constituted and has a clear sort of political ideology. It's a confluence of interests. So when Michel Joseph Martelly, whose presidency is pushed by the US Embassy, he's running on another party. He becomes a member of this party of bald heads, once he's already president and voted in, right? Imposed. So this party didn't exist before 2011, 2012. So it's not really one that has a political identity and ideology. It's really a party, if you will, of gangsters, right? Who saw that they could converge in this space and essentially distribute different pieces of Haiti to themselves and their friends, right? So of course, between gangsters, sometimes they betray each other.
So let me ask this question, Professor, and especially to Herb. You're saying that majority of the stuff that they're shipping into Jamaica, is it that there is? Are you aware of any gangs out of Haiti on Jamaican shore, the shores of Jamaica, and maybe they're trying to, start a civil war or something?
I don't think that's what's happening. And if this Mamyrah is supposed to trigger this kind of response, then to say, oh, we need to go into Haiti and stop the gangs because they're coming into Jamaica, that's what the Mamyrah is about then, because that's ridiculous. The gangs in Haiti control their neighborhoods, Jeffrey. They control a couple of blocks. they don't have some sort of international interest to go cause mischief and civil war in other countries. Like I can't put that much intention on them. Even the biggest baddest gang leader that the international community has highlighted, Jimmy Shiggy Barbecue, he controls this much space, right? Like it's not something that is enormous and that he has control. Even as the president of Dominican Republic says, oh, the gangs are threatening the border. They're not even over there, right? Like these people have control over a very limited set of territory. They don't have the capacity or willingness to go occupy Jamaica or any other country to cause you guys problems on the ground. That I can say with certainty.
Mr. Nelson?
I no, listen, I agree wholeheartedly with what the professor is saying. I've seen the demonization of various groups in the world, including the Taliban. The Taliban has never professed any uh, act of terrorism inside America, but they put them on the terrorist watch list, nevertheless. And they'll do this, they've done this to the Cubans as well. So it goes to show you how political doing these types of actions
Mm-hmm.
are. And I don't believe that it is necessarily so that they want to do anything to Jamaica because Jamaicans want to. Uh, I'm sorry, the Jamaican government wants to send people
Right.
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sincerely believe that the Jamaican government is acting in concert with the U.S. All right, they've led this prime minister of Jamaica by the nose all this time. He's in on the Israeli bombings in Gaza. They failed to vote on that, and as such, he does not want to show or become in disfavor with the U.S. for whatever the
Mm-hmm.
reason, whether they have a whole list of stuff that he's been doing with his money laundering or whatever it is. They have something on him. The bottom line is the Haitian situation. They have been doing this for decades. They have been taking out the leadership, Aristide's leadership. They have used other leaders in Haiti to continue the low pay,
Mm-hmm.
the slave labor,
Mm-hmm.
to support these guys. I said before, they like to support criminals who, in fact, are supportive of U.S.
Of
policy.
course.
And then, and no matter what these criminals do, they leave them in
And
place. No,
it's not just Aristide, right? We even got a chance to see Aristide emerge, right? The 2010 2011 moment when they push Michel Joseph Martelly, who now has clear ties to gangsters, right? Which means the gangsters have clear ties to the Clintons, right? But that essentially that there were other leaders that Haitian people were looking to in that election in particular, whether that person was going to bring the full dream of the Haitian people, probably not, right? But this particular candidate was completely pushed out. So even others after Aristide are prevented from coming out and emerging from what Haitian people see as their rightful leader. So, or leaders. There's no parliament today. The gangs have now stepped in to fill the role of local leaders. This is why they're able to overtake certain neighborhoods because there's no elected body at all in the entire country. There are no deputies, no senators. There's no local council people, and all of that was done under the watch of the UN. All of that was done by this particular party because they were met with too much opposition at all levels, right? Because Haitian people on the streets, Haitian people in parliament were saying, this plan that you all have for us, that the international community is pushing, we don't want it. It is our death. It's our collective death that they're organizing. How are you going to put cement and put this huge, right, the largest industrial park on land that can actually grow food? Meanwhile, we're buying food for billions of dollars. And Haitian people say, this plan y'all got is going to kill us. And they're right. It kills them. It takes away their land. Now we see Haitian people are stateless. They're everywhere. They're in Jamaica. They're in Guyana. They're in Venezuela. They're in Colombia. We know people don't want to leave their homes. People want to stay home, but they can't stay home. So this is what the fight is about. And the gangs are just there to confuse us and to create precisely your reaction, Jeffrey. Oh, that, to give them more power than they actually have on the ground, but they actually have power on the ground to kidnap and massacre and to make this big boogie monster so we don't point the finger in the right place.
So,
The gangs make it easy to blame, right, these poor Black people who are being instruments for others, multinational, some of them Black, some of them Haitian, right, who benefit from all of these projects they want to put on the ground that Haitian people keep saying no to.
Mr. Nelson, all of this then that is going on in Haiti, would you say it is spilling over into Jamaica?
No, Jamaica has been a separate song and dance for a while. Okay. I think Haiti has long been the area that they have kept subjugated, and there has been so many people that I looked at who have sold out the country and the people of Haiti without question. Now, if we're talking about what impacts the Caribbean and especially Jamaica, it's those weapons that were shipped out of Florida into northern Haiti that around the time of Aristide's second overthrow, after Clinton had restored him and G.W. Bush decided to go in and remove him, Clinton had removed over 93,000 weapons with that so-called first invasion of Haiti. And when Bush went back in there to take him out, they reintroduced thousands of weapons. Those weapons have since proliferated into the Caribbean and are still proliferating with this last go-around when the Colombians went in there to help with the overthrow of that president. So you've got to look at Haiti as the distribution point for a lot of Western U.S. It's not even U.S. made. It's a lot of it is Chinese made or from Czechoslovakia and other places. But it comes into the U.S. and is shipped into Haiti, and it subsequently gets out into the Caribbean. So we have to put a stop to that bleeding of weapons into the Caribbean because it's impacting every Caribbean island and governance of those islands, right? So who's behind this?
And I think, thank you for saying that, because let's say the UN troops came and they got rid of all the gangs, whatever that means, right? It wouldn't stop that the state that is in control, right? The people that are in control of the state, I should say, rather, right, want to allow this lawlessness in order for that to happen. So it comes right back to the Haitian people's ability to choose their own leaders, rightful leaders who don't have, right, other interests in mind other than the Haitian people's. This is what it also comes down to. And of course, what the international community needs to do is mind your waters, right? Mind your borders. Like you said, stop the flow of guns. You're so good at stopping the Haitian people when they're on boats.
Yep.
Put those skills to work. We're talking about guns that are destroying lives, families, communities, in an entire country and threatening a region. And to your point about Haiti, this port that I'm talking about, right? That's built in 2014. It's called Port Lafiteau. And if you Google it, it comes up one of 3 ports that has the capacity to welcome boats, right, that can go into extremely deep waters, including go into the Pacific. And there's only three of them: Fort Lauderdale, Haiti, Colombia. So I think those are key ways to make connections about where the US and other, gun manufacturers understand the strategic points to have these ports to allow the circulation of many things, including guns.
So basically, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. I wanted to say that with the shipments of those weapons, to me, it's only intended to disturb those governments who are not in sync with the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That has been my assessment for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the other things we should be talking about here is her. Think about Haiti. Haiti had that huge earthquake, which around was that 2010, Professor,
Mm-hmm.
and it has had several hurricanes to hit it, and another earthquake. Now, if indeed you have this huge amounts of money that came in, Professor, I don't know if you have spoken to it. How did the Clintons, who left the White House with hardly a penny to their names, become enriched to the tune of $2 billion to be able to buy into this gold mine in Haiti that was is set up right here in Maryland, in the
Mm-hmm.
U.S. Right? How did they pull that
Mm-hmm.
off? And how did the people not benefit from the monies distributed to the Clintons and to George W.
Mm-hmm.
Bush after the horrific
Mm-hmm.
earthquake?
So,
What's the problem with
so
that?
I'll say, right, that it was Hillary Rodham Clinton's brother who was on the board of VCS Mining and who came off the board when she was running for office, and people started hitting her hard for the Haiti stuff. The Clintons come into the picture, and there are some journalists who documented the long history of the Clintons with Haiti. But we see obviously Bill Clinton bringing back Aristide in 1994 with U.S. troops leading UN military into Haiti. So the Clintons already had a relationship with Haiti because obviously, Bill was the president. But we see in 1996 an important, I don't remember the whole name of the act, but an important farming act that gets passed under Clinton, which is seen as, extremely important for rice farmers, for example, in Arkansas. But we know in return for Aristide to come back to Haiti, there were promises made to open up Haitian markets. And we see through Aristide, even though, we typically see him as a people's candidate, but we see through these agreements that he signed that the Haitian markets opened up to receive Arkansas rice, and that is directly impacts national production of rice that gets crashed, right? So the Clintons are instrumental in ensuring that rice corporations in Arkansas are getting someplace to dump their rice, and that's Haitian markets. So the Clintons aren't new to Haiti. I remember being in Haiti after the earthquake and hearing Clinton give a speech talking about like the ways in which he saw the impacts of his policies on Haiti, contribute to the level of destruction in the country. And of course, the translator didn't translate that. And I was thinking, that's the part you need to translate for the Haitian people to hear, right? But what happens in 2010, because of the disaster and the collapse of many buildings that represent, right, state institutions, there was a commission that was put in place with Clinton at the head of it that suspended constitutional rule, that suspended parliament, and that set itself above the Haitian state in 2010. Again, no international outrage because it's like, oh, it's Haiti. That's normal that others would come in and take over. And we see the Clintons, because of their connections with South Korean capitalists are able to bring in a South Korean company that is running away from Guatemala and trying to find a new place to put their garment industry. Now, because of a 1994 Dole Act, or Dole Amendment, it was called, that since the 90s, the US and other Western countries started saying any aid that they give to third world countries is not going to go through the state, but instead will go through the hands of NGOs, right? International NGOs. That this is the way that the Clintons could justify controlling the money, right? We say the Haitian state is corrupt. So this international body came to impose itself and to say that they were the rightful recipients of the $12 billion that the world gave, and that they would be in charge of distributing it and making sure that it's spent well. Right. And the Clinton Global Initiative was involved in that, obviously through Clinton, and received a lot of the money to be able to so-called redistribute it to other NGOs on the ground, other so-called reconstruction projects. And of course, they use that as an opportunity to embezzle it. But $12 billion got spent. And there is no proof of any of that money being spent on Haiti, on infrastructure, on housing, on anything that benefited the Haitian people. Haiti is a money laundering opportunity for many others, as long as you can put your hands on the state and control it. And meanwhile, the people of Haiti are further and further impoverished. And even when all they have left is their own land to produce food to eat, they find that the Haitian state, in collaboration with the UN military, come instead to take their land away from them and hand it over for free and pay for the construction of, for example, industrial parks or big plantations for export that don't pay the Haitian state any money, and the Haitian state has no money to take care of its people. In addition to the fact that even if they get the money, they spend it on themselves.
Professor, I know you said you have to go because you're coming to an hour. But before you go, Professor, based on what I'm hearing from you, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to ask the question the same way. Is it that you're saying that even if Kenya, Jamaica, Antigua and Barbuda, and Bahamas should lead a force into Haiti, it will never assist to curb Haiti's gang problem in the country?
The Kenyans, when they came, said, when we come on the ground, we're going to be interested in protecting infrastructure. And that means fight whatever gang, right, is potentially preventing this infrastructure, the airport, the ports, the gas distribution points, right, the trade, right, international trade from happening. They made very clear that their mandate isn't necessarily to save the Haitian people, but to protect infrastructure from gang control, right? So that's already a clear part of how they understand what their mission is. Now, will they dismantle some gangs? Necessarily, I think that would happen. But what we've seen in the history of the 20 years of the UN presence in Haiti, it has not left a good record at all, right? It's led to, of course, all kinds of asymmetry, if you will, between these foreign militaries who have immunity, diplomatic immunity, when they rape, when they lynch, when they kill, when they, defecate in our waters and give us cholera. The international community did nothing, right? There are human rights groups, feminist groups who have cases against the UN military coming into neighborhoods like Cité Soleil. So they said they were looking for armed gangs that were in support of Aristide, and then said they killed babies, children, right? People who were just there. And so even in the dismantling of the gangs, it's going to be bystander collateral damage. The solution is to stop the guns from coming into their hands to begin with, right? Because what's going to happen when you attack them, the few that will be attacked, is that the neighborhood that they control, that they live in, is also under attack. And the Haitian people are not going to see that as a deliverance, I should say, right? And we have not seen deliverance in the hands of the international community. We've seen our leaders taken away from us. We've seen our leaders murdered by the international community to the people that they train, right? We've seen that they've given us cholera. We've seen that they've embezzled the people's money. This is what we've seen. $7 billion went into this 20-year operation of the UN. Again, Haiti remains in the exact same place, if not worse than before. How is that the solution? There are people on the ground now. And you know what they've said to the international community, including CARICOM? Stop recognizing Ariel Henry as a leader of Haiti who has the right to speak for the Haitian people. He was not chosen by the Haitian people. That's one of the first things CARICOM could do. And CARICOM already knows who the players are on the ground who represent civil society, sorry, and also the political opposition, right? The political parties. They already know those folks. And yet they continue to legitimate Ariel Henry and his claims in the UN for military troops on the ground. That is one of the first things CARICOM could do. Stop recognizing someone that the Haitian people continually say has nothing to do with them.
So,
So if indeed, one second, if indeed the, or I should say, when the Kenyans eventually get there, is there any chance you can see, Doc, of them restoring order? Because these are supposed to be police officers who have handled terrorist groups in Somalia as well. Okay, is there any chance they could restore enough order to have an orderly election? And is it possible that
Have we heard about Somalia? Somalia is doing well. So the Kenyans went in there to help. Yes,
yeah, they
state. No.
yeah, they smash them around?
Okay. So they're gonna come into Haiti and maybe they're gonna make the gangs, sort of simmer. And to allow state. What state? I'm telling you, this one guy who has a cabinet of ministry. That's it. There's no parliament, there's nobody, right? So again, there is a group of people who've been organizing, who have signed accords with one another about what they want for Haiti. Those are the people we need to listen to, because they clearly have analysis about why they're where they are, who the gangs are, and who they understand the conditions that they're in. And they have been pushing for, and CARICOM is aware, CARICOM has tried to help in the negotiations, but continues to allow this non-elected head of state to come and crash all of the agreements. Why invite him along with those organizations and parties that represent the Haitian people, not perfectly, but still do. But you allow this one guy that nobody ever chose to come into these meetings, to come into the negotiations, and to prevent, right? He creates deadlock. But he single-handedly has never been chosen by any Haitian person.
so
But he's
Professor,
always at the negotiations. Go ahead, sorry.
Professor, what you're saying then, the current person who's in charge of Haiti then, who the people didn't vote for him, you're saying that it doesn't make any sense and nobody having a discussion with him?
There was no democratic process that led to this man sitting in the seat he's sitting, negotiating with anybody on behalf of Haiti. I gave you already the sequence about how he came to power.
So hold on for me. So then, what you're saying then to the viewers here who are watching us from around the world and listening to us from around the world in the Eastern Caribbean, what you're saying to us then, that the current Prime Minister of Haiti went to the UN and asked for help, but under basically the Constitution is null and void now, because there's nobody in charge of Haiti. So he has no right to go and ask for help for Haiti then at the United Nations. Is what you're saying?
That's the beginning of it. That is the beginning of it. He is, again, named by the president who's assassinated a couple of days before the assassination. And even if he had gotten to the day of his, inauguration, there is no parliament. This is how our constitution works. The president gets elected by the people. The president makes a choice of a prime minister. Parliament must ratify this prime minister. Parliament exists because there are elections that take place and the people go and they vote for their deputies and their senators. There have been no deputies or senators in function, or parliament has not been in function since 2020.
Mm.
So there would have been no democratic body that could ratify the choice of the deceased president's prime minister. And the deceased president had already extended his term beyond when it was supposed to end, and himself had already been rejected by the people when he was trying to, right, be pushed himself into being elected. So this crisis is one that goes back to 2010, but certainly 2004, that is continuing to unfold here.
So do you see an end in sight? Do you see that if Kenya, Jamaica, Antigua, Barbuda, Bahamas lead a security force into Haiti, do you see an end in sight? Do you see them putting everything together and say, okay, Haiti's back together? When Jamaica has its own problem?
I'm plainly saying no. I'm plainly saying, no offense to the Jamaicans, that the way that the UN has moved in Haiti because of their impunity has been that when acts of violence are committed by these foreign troops against the Haitian people, there is no justice. Additionally, when they've come in, they have not helped to move the Haitians out of poverty, but instead have protected infrastructure, airports, ports, multinational investments like industrial parks. This is where their attention has been. If they combat any gang violence or armed groups, it is because they are directly confronting a certain infrastructure that they've come to protect. And again, when you stop all these activities to allow what state in the name of what people to function? When the Haitian people have clearly said, we don't want this guy, we don't want this party, we don't want this system. We have all of these different agreements that we've been working on since 2019 about what way forward out of Haiti. That's already exists. I'm not making it up. It's not something that is needs to be done. The people on the ground have organized. Organizations that represent sometimes hundreds to 10,000s of people have come together in a series of meetings over the last, what is it? I can't even count now, 5 years plus, right? 4 years, and saying, this is what we are laying out for us to get out of this. And we ask of you, the international community, is to control your end. Don't let the guns come in here. That's what your role is. Because if you come in and you fight the gangs, but the flow of guns continues to come, then this fight is going to be endless. And the Haitian people will continue to be collateral damage.
Mr. Nelson, from a security point of view, do you think that the Kenyans and the Jamaicans and so forth will put an end to what is going on in Haiti?
No, you've got 11 million people in Haiti, right? And how many of them do you wager to say is in the middle class or in that upper echelon that is the ruling class in the country, right? If you have a million, I'd be shocked and surprised, right? You have a country that the upper echelon, the Vorb and the Braun and those others I mentioned before, that they're enjoying these roles at the behest of the U.S. and at the expense of the Haitian people. And instead of the U.S. Deciding to go in, use whatever evidence they have of money laundering and other drug trafficking activities, these people, they're not. And it's a foregone conclusion that these people need to go to allow Haiti to breathe freely, for they allow Haiti to be able to have their free and fair elections and have their local government as well as the national government elected. And I realize the professor has to go.
Yes.
And I'd love to see her come back. So Professor, I think you should ask her what our final words are, Jeffrey.
Yes. What's your final word, Professor, before you go to your Haitian people?
Yes.
to the members of CARICOM?
Yes. Well, I'm gonna say again, you posed the question, will the gangs come in and fix what's going on with Haiti? And because you asked the question that way, it makes me feel that I have not done my job well. Because what I have said is that what's going on in Haiti is that the gangs are there to confuse us about what's underneath it all, right? That part of the dynamics of what's happening in Haiti is a struggle of people of Haiti for their sovereignty, but for their ability to grow their own food and eat their own food and not have their land turn into tourist compounds like you guys have in Jamaica, or right, finance havens like in Cayman Islands, right? Or
Yeah.
become Taiwan with industrial parks. And the Haitians have said no over and over again over the last 10 years. And the gangs were introduced as a way to push back against the people who were protesting and had shut down the country. If we miss that in the picture, then we will continue to push for Kenya to come in to resolve an issue again that the United Nations was already there as it was developing and served as cover for it to happen. So those are my last words saying the same thing, right? And again, the solution is to stop recognizing someone who claims to be a prime minister that is chosen by hand by the US to run a country that nobody asked him to run, and to take over from the people who have come in coalition across civil society, across political parties, with a clear plan to move Haiti out of its crisis, a transition government that would allow free and fair elections, and has asked the international community to control its borders, to control the guns coming in from the United States into Haiti. That is the best thing that the international community can actually do for us. But it seems to be that it's more difficult to ask gun manufacturers to stop profiting off of death than it is to actually respect Haiti's sovereignty, right? And Haiti saying we don't need military troops from the people who created the problem that we're facing right now. Not directly, obviously, Jamaicans in the Bahamas, right? But the UN structure. That's my piece.
Professor, so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I hope Mr. Nelson can stay with me for a couple more minutes. Professor,
Yeah.
don't get straight into the Make We Talk program now.
Okay, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Professor. Thank you.
Professor, they're speaking about what is going on in Haiti and what she thinks should be done towards Haiti. We're going to turn our attention to the land of wood and water. And why I say that is because for the past 24 hours, the JDF, the JCF have been kept busy with 71 bomb threats across the length and breadth of Jamaica. Mr. Nelson, Jamaica, it seems as if everything is turning into a different angle in Jamaica now, sir.
You know, these disruptions are just that. They're disruptions designed to cause a lot of angst and anxiety in the country. The question is, they have to track and trace when it started, how it was engineered, and that then try to figure out who continues to engineer these phone calls and these bomb threats.
Actually, it is email, you know. It is email they get in.
Yeah, but that can be track and traced. They can track and trace that. Okay. And wherever it takes them to, whatever server or whatever IP address, they need to identify and then try to figure out who will utilize that computer to send the email. All right. Yeah, I mean, these things are simple when you're trained up to do it, and when you have people skilled enough to do it. You know, it's not rocket science. And the police themselves, we suggested a long time ago the use of fusion centers with the overarching security operations center that could do just
and
this.
anxiety.
They could actually do track and tracing and send the police out to wherever they locate the IP address and as a rapid response team and try to locate the people that are doing it.
I want you to listen to a news item that was just sent to me.
Fear and anxiety gripped students, faculty, and staff at approximately 24 schools across the island since Thursday morning. The schools were evacuated to allow teams from the bomb squad and the Jamaica Fire Brigade to search for explosive devices. The institutions affected on Thursday include Greater Portmore High, Ascot High, and Old Harbour High in St. Catherine, Denby High and Lennon High in Clarendon, Immaculate Conception High, and AISK in St. Andrew, and William Knibb Memorial High in Trelawney. On Friday, renewed bomb threats caused disruption in at least 10 schools. These include BB Coke High in St. Elizabeth, Merlene Otti and Rhodes Hall High in Hanover, and Belair High in Manchester. The theory is that the emails have a malicious code to replicate once opened. That's the view of Principal of Denby High, Jeffrey Douglas. And proceedings were halted at the St. Catherine Parish Court after an email was received warning the administration of explosives planted on the compound. All matters which were listed for Friday were rescheduled for next Monday. In a statement on Friday, the Ministry of National Security says a significant strain was placed on law enforcement resources, which are already in high demand. It says the repercussions of the hoaxes are far reaching and cause significant disruption to essential services and public order. The ministry is urging the public to remain calm and vigilant. It's reminding the public that participating in such hoaxes is not only irresponsible, but also illegal.
Mr. Nelson, all of this is going on in Jamaica. And yet, the country between 2015 and 2018, the donor funds and loans in the tune of $3.6 billion or $6 billion, third of a trillion Jamaican dollars. And until now, Jamaica's crime problem is still out of work. Are they doing something wrong, Mr. Nelson?
You have folks who are planning and developing crime plans that are incomplete and inconsistent with whatever is going on the island. You have trained people there who may be perfect.
Continue talking for me. Just give me a minute. Just continue talking, please.
Yeah, the trained people there who are perfectly capable of operating police stations, operating various police teams, the military, who has a military intelligence unit fully capable of doing track and tracing, fully capable of hunting down people who are doing these terroristic acts. Between the military and the police, they're perfectly capable. But what is the commissioner of police in conjunction with the chief of defense staff? What are their capabilities? And how are they employing their teams to be acting in a more effective manner? Right? You have folks who are lawyers, folks who are experts in various manners of policing, and they don't seem to be able to get their act together. It just seems to me that the police are just going through the motions to collect their pay, and that's about it. You have the highest paid police commissioner ever in the history of the country. And he's completely impotent as a military officer to what's going on. So where does that leave the so-called intelligence-driven policing that they've been doing? How is it they have no CIs that can fill them in on what's going on the island. Why is this situation with bombing threats and other threats getting out of control? All right. Why are people emboldened to want to do these threats? And it seems to me that to get a handle on this stuff, they've got to demonstrate a little bit more aggression and to finally learn what it is to do intelligence driven investigations.
Yes.
Because if you have assets on the ground who are CIs, you should be getting your tips and should be able to move fast. You should have been able to move fast when you had all these robberies before. You should have been able to anticipate where they're going to be hit as far as the banks and how to cut off those avenues of retreat for those robbers. But it seemed like they keep getting caught flat-footed and they're unable to react in a timely fashion and to catch the people responsible. So they things don't look good because they keep getting these rings run around them. And that to me is just a lack of leadership.
And you would say also, Mr. Nelson, in 21st century Jamaica, where technology is so up and running, you think the government of Jamaica will have so many technology put in place to solve all of this? They have been getting billions of dollars from the United States every year to help fight crime and from other donor countries. And what is going on? Why is it that we continue having these bomb threats? Bombs coming to the country, hear nothing from the Ministry of National Security, nor the Prime Minister about it. No schools and everything have been disrupted. 71 bomb threats in the last 24 hours in Jamaica.
Look, if there's a bomb threat at the school and if there's a camera system at the school, between the time that the folks left school on Friday afternoon and the time during the week that the bomb threats were called in, you should be able to look at the camera and figure out who entered and left the school during that time frame. If nobody basically entered and left the school, then the bomb threat is a hoax.
But why is it? Okay, Mr. Nett, is that because Deputy Commissioner of Police, who's in charge of crime, Fitzbailey, said it is a hoax. But what I'm saying is this. They said they're getting from emails and so forth. You're saying to me, from the first bomb threat until now, they can't find where this email address is? At one point, I hear FBI, Deputy Commissioner of Police said that the FBI is involved with it. FBI is investigating because one of the emails is originated from overseas.
Well, if it originated from here, it would take the FBI less than an hour to track that IP address, right? And they would be able to visit that location within that hour as well. It should be the same in Jamaica. It should not be a federal case to go track an email address, right? They should be able to tell where it's coming from, the very computer that it was generated from. They should be able to track that exact location. All right. But the fact that it continues, it means this person might be staying one step ahead. Could be somebody using a laptop. And they're constantly moving.
So
right?
you're saying because of maybe because they're using a laptop, it bouncing off of so many IP addresses that they can't figure it out?
No. The IP address remains the same. They go through over so many hops. They might design it to do that, or they might be logging in at some company's address where they don't work, or they might go to somebody's house where they may not know the person that well, but they managed to log into their Wi-Fi system, right? There's just so many ways they can do it. but like I said, the person can be tracked.
Mm. Some serious times ahead, Mr. Nelson. We're not going to stay too long on the platform here because I know you have other programs lined up for tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I won't
I was glad the professor came on tonight and spoke about the Haitian situation. And what she explained to you in the end, basically, nobody wants to see that Haitian prime minister stay there. I was at State Department 2 months ago with a religious group and another group, and they spoke to the fact that he has to go. They don't feel comfortable with him being there. They suspect him of being a part of the original assassination plot.
Yes.
Right? They suspect a lot of things about him that is not pleasant. So the fact that there's unease amongst the diaspora, not just in the US, but also in Canada and France as well, right? There's a lot of unease about him. And so nobody trusts him. You have to, if those people are coming in, what we're saying in ICS is their intent must be the protection and the welfare of the people of Haiti, not protection and welfare of the oligarchs or the elites that are living in Haiti and ignore the people and the quagmire that they're living in, right? They need protections as well. They need to have the right to move about freely, to do business freely, and to work and play and have their children protected within these areas. There should be nobody that's controlling them and driving them to do no good, when in fact you have 12,000 Haitian National Police officers that are there to protect them. I hope that whatever the responsibilities that are broken out to the visiting police officers, it would be to hold down the important communities, protect them, while the Haitian National Police goes around and dismantles and remove all these gang members that have been terrorizing the place. Right? You can't have the visiting Kenyan police doing that because they just don't know the territory. And it's going to take a while to train them up on joint patrols with Asian National Police to ask them to do that when in fact they don't know the territory. So it's best to have them protect individual neighborhoods. We're talking about Port-au-Prince. We're talking about the capital city. That's mainly where a lot of this is occurring. So if they're able to protect the neighborhoods in Port-au-Prince, and the Asian National Police goes on the offensive, they can encircle the entire Port-au-Prince city and do something about kill or capturing those, what we call not troublemakers, but those violence producers that live in the various communities. I know Professor doesn't like to hear that, but that's basically, you can't be Mr. Nice Guy when these guys are producing as much violence as they do.
Mr. Nelson,
Kidnapping and everything else that they're doing. Yeah.
You were saying that somebody was saying to you about some thing going into Jamaica from Haiti. What was it again?
The explosives. The explosives that you see, they say, were produced in Haiti and going into Jamaica. But think about this. What else has gone into Jamaica? The people who murdered the president, right?
Yes.
They easily were admitted to Jamaica. How did they get there? You know, who sponsored them into Jamaica? Who transported them from a port to the homes that they were staying at? Two different people, a senator and a former prime minister. Who organized that? Right? What is it that the police in Jamaica have not told the people of Jamaica about that? You know, these things don't happen in a vacuum, Jeffrey, but they happen. And the bottom line is somebody is responsible. Why have there been no arrests behind that? Why has the FBI, to whom they were handed over, not briefed the Jamaican police about who was responsible for bringing those people into Jamaica? Who's responsible for sending Jamaican hitmen, gunmen abroad throughout the Caribbean to execute the hits? Who sends them to Haiti to hang out and then sends them back? How are they traveling? Did they travel by boat? Was it the oil company's boat that they went over and came back on? Or was it, you know, a personally owned conveyance? All of these things, the people of Jamaica need to demand answers on. But dragging their feet on this.
And what I don't understand, you know, when they have these so-called press conferences at Jamaica House, headed by the Minister of Misinformation, Robert Nelsom.
Bug life as
yes, that's what Nelsom call him.
Yeah.
Yes, I call him Minister of Misinformation. And when a journalist want to ask the question between Minister of Misinformation and Naomi Francis is saying to the journalist, oh, there has to be a different press conference for those questions. I don't understand what is going on, you know. It does in any modern democracy. I think as a pipe bomb. So many bomb threats, 71 bomb threats in the last 24 hours. And you're saying to me you don't address the nation. You're waiting until Wednesday to the people of the country. What is real? What do you think is going on? You don't address the nation? Are we gonna see one of these here? We get up on here, break it, either the Mekwita newsroom or the newsroom. That's so that this happened and that happened. This happened and that happened. Donovan?
Yeah, I just got in. How you doing?
I'm good. Do you have something in the background here?
If I have someone in the background?
You have some device in the background.
You have some feedback going on.
Oh, let me turn on the TV in the background.
Yes, but I'm not seeing you at all. I am not seeing you at all.
Oh, I'm gonna switch over to the tablet.
Okay.
I'm gonna switch over to the tablet.
When you do that, you will come back. So, Mr. Nelson, all of that is going on, and you know nothing, not a word from the Minister of National Insecurity, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, nor the Commissioner of Police.
Well, look, if they're stumped, they're not going to say anything. They're not going to speculate. They would have to be given direct answers by the Deputy Commissioner in charge of crime. They would have to be given direct answers by the Army, maybe the Military Intelligence Unit Chief. And if they don't have the answers, then they don't have the answers. But the bottom line is they should at least reassure the country that they're investigating and they're trying to get to the bottom of who is doing this. Now, if it could be the government themselves doing it, if they figure that they would put the population in fear and then step in as Superman to the rescue, that they're going to calm them down. But
or is it that they are doing it to call a public state of emergency and cancel the election?
Anything is possible, Jeffrey. You know that.
It's 9 o'clock.
But this is the elections that are coming up is local elections. So it would be
Right.
stupid to want to cancel those because they've suspended it for so long. They're up against the mandatory dates that they must have elections
Yes, under the Constitution, it's due in February of next year.
next year,
Okay.
right?
But I believe that the good gentleman will put on his clocks sometime in November here when you have the JLP conference at the National Arena and call the election.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, I don't see him calling national elections anytime soon because of the fact that there's a degree of unpopularity for the governing party at this point. I don't see him really saying, hey, we're going to have national elections right after the local elections. And
Or maybe he may call both of them in one.
no. They already called local elections already. So I don't see.
There's no local election hasn't been called as yet.
Yeah. But we're in the month of November. So
Yeah.
we're talking about 3 months. We know it's going to have to happen in the next 90 days. It's that, you know, it's mandatory. So something has to happen. And all of these hoaxes that's happening, they need to increase the reward money that they can pay out. Put it out there. Them and the private sector need to put out a reward amount that could really somebody could hit the lottery jackpot, turning in the bastard that's doing all of this stuff. Right? So if you say, okay, we're putting out $1 million Jamaican dollars. So anybody who can give information to the capture and prosecution of the person doing this, then that's probably what they need to do. And see if somebody, a relative or a friend who knows who's doing this stuff, will turn them in.
I am here now. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in section of Dunkirk in Kingston East Police Division. The curfew in Brownstown community started at 6 p.m. and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Sunday. Now, all of these curfews that's going on, Mr. Nelson. Imagine if they had taken majority of the soldiers and police to go to Haiti and these bomb threats. What do you think would happen, Mr. Nelson? Don't have the money to go around?
I mean, the majority of people, when you say majority, we're talking about 4,000 military and we're talking about around 12,000 police, right? The numbers that are going over there is barely 200 or 250. So we wouldn't have to worry about these bomb threats, even if that's in 2050, right? Because the investigation is still the same. It has to be conducted by track and tracing and looking at the wording in the email to see if they can gather any information from that, right? And to see if they can locate the IP address that the email came from. It's the same whether you had only 200 police left on the island or the 12,000. So it's necessary to
From
do
a security point of view, you think Jamaica should really get involved in sending troops into Haiti? Based on what is going on in Jamaica now?
Again, the level of threat in Jamaica that they're having there's no demand for for a greater number of police presence other than how they've been deploying the police. Police is not doing community policing. They're not walking the beat as such, right? They're driving around in vehicles, right? They can use drones to do a lot of the patrolling that they would normally do, right? They also have a fixed wing aircraft that they use to do patrol. The waterways can be handled by the Coast Guard and by the engineer units in the JDF, right?
Mhm.
So they pretty much have enough people on hand to cover the patrolling and to act as rapid deployment units. You know, if they're fully armed, that then good. But the bottom line is, CARICOM has a responsibility to Haiti. They have a responsibility to good governance in Haiti. They have a responsibility to see to it that the Haitians are able to vote and to appoint members of the I guess the local as well as their national governments, and to appoint a prime minister, a president rather, who will then appoint the prime minister.
Mhm.
Or vote for a president who will then appoint the prime minister. That is
Mr. Nelson,
CARICOM's responsibility. And if Jamaica is tapped to execute that responsibility, then Jamaica has to do it.
yes, yes. Mr. Nelson, hold on. Donovan, you have on something in the background again.
Huh?
You want something in the background?
No.
Donovan,
You're
hearing
getting some feedback. Are you muted, Donovan?
No, I'm not.
There's something else you have on there. There's two devices you have on.
It's
Okay,
it's the part of the microphone that is causing the feedback.
yeah. Okay, Donovan, now when you're stay where you are. There's a question in the chat, Nelson. Does Jamaica have a bomb squad unit? You have any idea?
The military has one for sure, right? So they probably could use the militaries if the police doesn't have one.
Mm-hmm. Donovan, welcome to the program. What your views on what is going on in the land of wood and water? 71 bomb threats in the last 24 hours.
I heard about it, and that's crazy. I think government needs to really take more of a serious role in terms of preventing crimes. I mean, I don't care what nobody says. It's government controlled. They know how to stop it. They know when to stop it and where to stop it. I was on a Zoom. I think Herb was on there too, and we were talking about AI, how AI can be used to help solve crime, and it's true. We can use that, but it's not just government alone. We need the people. The mindset of the people in Jamaica definitely has to change. There's too much mental slavery going on, you know, and we need to wake up and wise up, or else we're gonna have a country where it's non-Jamaicans. Because look at it, how many deaths are there per day? You know, they don't care who they kill, when, where, or how. Children are now the target in most instances. And this thing going around now where, boy, if me can't get you, me I go get you a pitney, me I'll get something for you, you know? And this never used to be. And it's gotten so bad now where it's like it's an in thing, you know. It's like it's a business now, because yes, I'm hiring a hitman, you know, the young lady that killed the other lady with the baby. And you know, these are things that's unheard of back in the days when we were growing up. I mean, you look at life and you say, okay, couple of things the real bad man them don't do. They don't hurt children, and they don't hurt the elderly. They would more protect them. Nowadays, everything flip out backwards. And I don't know where this brain drain is coming from in Jamaica that's causing so much problems and so much evil doing. But we need to get a hold of it. Education is one thing where we have to teach people how they need to be more of a collective unit in terms of You know, talking about crime. If something criminal happens in your community, don't be afraid to talk about it. Yes, and the fear that they have is like, if me go talk, guess what? My life is threatened. I'm an informer, and these are some of the things that we have to curb in Jamaica, and not just Jamaica, the world itself. But at the same time, it's prevalent in the Caribbean, and it's worse in Haiti and those places. Africa, I mean, it's been there, but we need to step up. We have enough brilliant people in Jamaica to help solve crime. We do,
But,
and
but, but,
these are some of the
hold on
things that
there,
we have to
Freedom.
focus on.
Hold on there.
Mm.
I was privy to a Zoom meeting with Wilfred Radigan. I think Mr. Nelson was on it too.
Yeah, I watch Radigan all the time.
But hold on there. I was privy to a Zoom meeting with the Minister of National Security, Rupert Francis, and Wilfred Radigan. I think Mr. Nelson was on it too. I'm not
Yes, he
sure.
was.
When the Minister of National Security told the Zoom meeting that he doesn't want any help from the diaspora to fight crime.
I remember
There's
that.
still money coming up.
I remember that.
Now the
Is he part of
question
the
was
problem?
this evening. The crime is out of control in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security and the Commissioner of Police have a bankrupt mind. Now, when is the diaspora going to call for the resignation of the Minister of National Security and the Commissioner of Police? The
Well,
diaspora billions of dollars. Who?
mhm.
And we sit down up here. And when these people come up here, we hands and gloves them and hug them up and give an autograph and check out on the nasty smile. When are we gonna say to them, enough is enough? The time has come for the minister to resign.
All right. Well, Herb can tell you that we here as diasporans can't go to Jamaica and change the law. We can't. Right? In most instances, we can't even go to Jamaica and tell the government what to do. Right? We can give them advice, yes, but again, there are laws put in place to say, okay, this is how we handle such situation. Just like last night when we were on the reform, the Constitution is of such where there's certain protocol that needs to be followed. Yes, you, me, Herb, everybody else wants crime to be resolved in Jamaica, but the question is this: how do we put together a plan that will work without corruption here, corruption there? And that's part of the problem. It's not that it can't be solved. The question is, do they want it to be solved? Because if you guys look at it, then what you guys know, it is a business. It is. And it's sad to say it, but that's the living truth.
Herb Nelson.
Look, the government,
Mute
yeah,
your mic. Mute your mic. Donovan, mute your mic. Let her talk.
let me
Go
try
ahead.
to turn this down. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead. Loud and clear.
Okay. The government has stated via the Minister of National Security, they don't want no help. But we have people who are trained, that part over 63 officers at last count in the diaspora crime task force that have full capabilities of investigating homicides, bomb incidents, and other incidents. We have intelligence people who can help set up CIs, confidential informants in communities, and tell them how to protect those people, right? Because you're not supposed to have those people on your laptop in the police station or on some other instrument that can be accessed if it's hacked, right? Should have them on standalone equipment. And the standalone equipment has to be in a highly secure area where if you had gold bullion, you'd want to put the gold bullion in that same area. So that's the first part of security, having a secure system that can protect your informants. Now, without the human intelligence aspect, I think I mentioned this when it came to the beryllium shootings. They had no CIs on that. I mentioned it also when it comes to the police going out trying to discover who in the community would have enough gumption to want to call in a bomb threat to a school. Trust me, somebody spoke about that bomb threat, about retaliating against schools and stuff, to a friend, to some acquaintance. Okay? They might have even researched how to do it on a computer. Now, we talked about AI earlier, right? You probably could put AI query out on internet provider, whether it's Digicel or Flow, and have it query every computer to see who was doing any searches on bomb threats prior to when the first bomb threat came out. That would generate more queries. You could look, and you might get lucky, but this is what analysis is all about. You gather the information and you let your analysts narrate down by applying different filters to it. You filter information out to bring it down to what you're looking for. And this is what they're going to have to do. Right? It doesn't take a whole lot of people. Might take maybe 5 or 6 people to be able to do that. But they need, this is a need for what we told them they needed before. Got to have a fusion center. That's where you filter information. That's where you fuse information together. That's where you do analysis of information that you have to do a report or to get actionable intelligence, to where you say, police, go to this location, that's where your culprit is. Yeah. Without any of these things, or without their ability to do it, then they're going to be lost, right? They're going to look like the Keystone Cops. Look like you're muted, Jeff.
Yes, we're not going to stay too long here. Donovan, I want you to give your, we're going to wrap up now because I know Mr. Nelson have so many programs lined up for tomorrow. And Donovan, now you're on with me now, so we have to organize ourselves to have our programs too, to let the word go out that Jamaica can't continue like this. The nation that we love so much, the land of wood and water, cannot continue like this. And our political leaders seems like termite eat up the brain. And I'm going to apologize for what I'm saying. They're bankrupt. They don't have any ideas. From 1962 until now is the same thing, and 1932 until now is the same thing. I've been swapping black dog for monkey for far too long. And when a government can't secure its people, there is something fundamentally wrong with the governing of the country. When a government cannot secure its own people, when you have criminals gunning down little schoolboys, something is wrong. They are terrorists. And we, as Jamaicans, need to speak out and something to be done. We can't continue hands and gloves these people when they come to the diaspora. When they tell the people of our country, fear lies when they come out to the figure of murders in Jamaica. The numbers of people are murdered in the country. It's fear lies they're telling us. And when they come to the diaspora, we hug them up and want master this and prince that. Members of the diaspora must be Jamaican. Don't be a member of the People's National Party or a member of the Jamaica Labour Party or a member of the UIC or a member of the MDM. Be a Jamaican. And I think the time has come, Mr. Nelson and Mr. Donovan, that we as members of the diaspora must call a spade and speak the truth. Somebody don't like me. We kill up the hands and gloves in these people. When our black brothers and sisters are being gunned down like blackbird every day. Gentlemen, your final words before we go. Donovan, start with you, Mr. Nelson.
Okay, I mean, I felt the passion and I feel the pain for Jamaicans all over the world because none of us like what's going on. None of us want to see what's going on happen, forever. But at the same time, here's this. Part of the problem is not just government. I'm going to say it blunt and straight. Part of the problem is the people. The mindset. Yes, the mindset needs to change. I mean, come on. We know what a true Jamaican is. We're not here to hurt or kill one another. Yes, we will support one another if we win gold medal here or if we become first in this. Everybody cheers. But guess what? The next day the cheering is gone because what? Somebody did something wrong to someone and they have to retaliate. I mean, and it's so sad because the children are learning from the adult. They don't just grow up like this, They're seeing these things in their community and they're learning it because, oh, is that right? I mean, I was driving through Westmoreland last time I was there and I saw this little young boy. I don't know what the young lady did to him, but he came out with a force and hit her right in the spine. I pulled out the car and I went after him and my wife grabbed me and said, no, don't do that. I said, babe, you cannot sit back and let these things happen. You have to talk about it. You have to stop it. Oh, you don't know who Mr. Been a business, who him know and who him what. I'm a fearless man. I'm not afraid of nobody. But at the same time, we need to take responsibility for what we are doing and what we're teaching our young men and our young women. It has to stop. I mean, Jamaica just seems like it's gone to the dogs. And there's so many good people in Jamaica who want to see change, but they're being shunned. They're being locked out by, the negativity that's going on. The news media is the one that needs to be blamed as well because they promote so much foolishness. And, I don't care which party they're affiliated with, but that needs to stop. Promote the positive in Jamaica, give opportunities to young men and women. Government need to do more of that. I mean, I heard the other day that they're gonna put more jobs in, but they want people from foreign to come work. What about the people in Jamaica? I know some of them don't want to work, but they need to learn. And we need to put programs in place that will help because if they are not learning, they're going to turn to crime. And these are some of the things that we need to stop and we need to face. Again, the mindset needs to be changed. It needs to change from government all the way down to the newborn baby. So that's my spiel, and thank you very much.
Sir Nelson.
I have to agree with Donovan very much. The people of Jamaica is of a different ilk. And the people in the diaspora who keep sending money back home and feeding them and allowing them to persevere in their ill-mannered and bad ways and bad mind, as the Prime Minister like to say, right? You can't keep doing that. I hope you set standards of accomplishment for the people back home in Jamaica. It's got to be either personal standards or it's got to be some kind of professional standards if they're in business. And you cannot keep encouraging them to do the same thing over and over and hoping for a different result, right? Let me say, what gone by the morning can't come good the evening. But you know something? That's only meant for the ears of those who don't want to change. There are people who want to change. And there are people who love their neighborhoods, respect their neighborhoods, respect their neighbors, and they want to see change occurring in that neighbor. So the bottom line is we have to, as diasporans, we send $3.5 billion home, and that extra billion is only because of COVID. And we have not cut back on the money we're sending down there. But we need to have people on the other end of the receiving end responsible for what they're doing and not just keep feeding the beast, as the saying goes. You got to make people change. You got to force the change. The threat of not sending money sometimes is enough to do it. The withholding of funds is more than enough to do it, because when they get hungry and they're afraid to go bust somebody's head to get money, they're going to apologize and come back and tell you that they'll change, and they're going to have to work towards change. But we can't have people on the island milking us, lying to us, and doing the complete opposite of what you expect them to do. And that means you have to run checks on them, and you have to run checks on what they're supposed to be doing. And I hope that we take that to heart and take it seriously. I appreciate this, Jeff and Donovan, and I hope you guys have a good night.
Indeed. I just want to say this before I go. Jamaicans, the time has come for us to rally around a single cause and a single purpose. And it's to take back the country from the hoodlands, our gunmen. Jamaica is a beautiful paradise. The land of my birth, as I always said. We came there by labor pain, not by aeroplane or party pain. We are Jamaicans, and we will remain Jamaicans. And my final words to you all tonight: for all those cares have been our concern. The work goes on, the cause endure. The hope still lives, and the dream for a better Jamaica shall never die. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. I want to say thanks to Professor for coming on. Thanks to my good friend Herb Nelson Jr., a person who I look up to, a mentor who continue to serve Jamaica in the diaspora, a man who continue to speak out for his country and want to see better for his country. To Donovan, our other good friend, who continue to do the same thing. My friends, God bless you. And may God continue to bless Jamaica land we love. This is where we say so long from here for tonight.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.